we're on. Thank you for joining me right here at Get Ready for the Dress. I am so grateful for you to have this space and share this time with me. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Latasha. She's gonna share her journey with us and give us some history on her. So let's welcome her to Get Ready for the Dress because she's gonna dress us with some good and good goodies. So introduce yourself, beautiful.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's watching and listening in. My name is Latasha Stevens Cummings, and I am, I guess, what you would say, a serial entrepreneur. I kind of wear many hats. The first one being the event and catering, which is the TNT Party Rentals, which is the catering company, kind of self-explanatory, all things parties. Just kind of, you know, doing everything that has to do with the party. The second business is We Are Her Leadership Academy. That is a nonprofit 501c3 program and mentoring organization, as well as outreach for ladies of all ages. The first portion of that, we kind of have different arms that is attached with that. So the first arm is going to be geared towards our youth, which is our girls. And right now we have our program called Queens in Training, and that is geared for girls, young ladies ages 10 through 17. And then we also have another arm, which is our outreach, sort of, where we deal with domestic violence, ladies that have overcome domestic violence, those that are going through it. We're kind of just walking them through it, getting them and connecting them with the right agencies that they can get help, understanding what that is and realizing and going and moving forward. The third portion of that is going to be where we have Why Me. And Why Me is geared towards young ladies who have lost children. Me being a mother who has lost, my first child, whether it be, to violence or, whatever the case may be, it could have been a stillborn or anything. Just dealing with the mothers who have been in denial or just cannot believe why me. So that Why Me is dealing with the women who have lost children.
Wow, that is
So that
awesome.
kind of encompasses everything.
Girl, that is awesome. So let's start with the T and T. Okay, that's your first business, right?
Hmm.
When did you start that business?
So actually, the name of it, I'm sorry, the name of it was Peaches Party Package, and so that was the catering company. We started that in 1992,
Mhm.
and then we transitioned into the rentals in 2006. And so we've been kind of going and on the scene in the event arena for almost about 29 years now.
So what made you do that? What made you start that business?
Ooh, what made me start the business was that I have just kind of always been around entrepreneurs and just the being in the medical arena. I was kind of tired of punching at 9 to 5, and my children were younger back then, and I was doing graveyard shifts, and so I wanted to transition and try to do something and be at home a little bit more. And so I stepped out on faith and say, because I was doing the catering part time and trying to do the nursing, trying to do the family thing, just trying to balance and doing a balancing act. And it was just like something got to give. So I think it was when I lost my son that I did not want to be in the medical field anymore, because dealing with children and dealing with mothers having have lost children, having to go and do that all over again all the time was just getting to me. So I actually just stepped out on faith, like I said, and say, you know what, I'm just gonna do this catering and full time, and we're gonna go with it. Now it was some ups and downs, because Jesus, I was like, oh my God, did I just do this? Oh my God, what the world happened? And so I kind of had to lean in on my faith and like, okay, Jesus, you told me this was good to go. What happened? What's going on?
You're
What
right.
is it? And he sustained me though.
Hmm.
uh and so just kind of transitioning from the catering because people wanted to oh, well, do you have linen? Do you have tables? Do you know where I can get this? Do you know where I can get that? I said, you know what? I might as well find, I'm gonna give out this information and I'm gonna
Mhm.
be a walking directory. I might as well
Mhm.
monetize it and keep it moving.
Mhm.
And so I did
Exactly.
that, and we started the rental business because after doing all of these events for weddings and catering, you start accumulating a lot of inventory, and it was taking
Mhm.
up a lot of space. I said, you know what, we finna do a rental company so I can maximize all of this that we have
Right.
in this every square foot of rentals inventory. So we just started, we opened up the rental company.
That's
So
good.
yeah.
So let me ask you this: how did you come up with T and T rentals? I mean, where does that name have a meaning? What made you come up with that name, or it was just a name you chose?
No, so of course my name is Latasha, but people call me Tasha or people call me Peaches because Peaches party package.
Uh-huh.
My husband name is Todd, so we had the TNT. He was like, okay, TNT. But when we first started, we were doing so many women's teas, church teas, school teas, teas, tea. I got tired of looking at teacups and saucers and everything. I'm just like, oh my God. So when we were trying to come up with a concept and a name for the rental company, we was like, you know what, too. And then we were doing a lot of golf tournaments, a lot of
Mhm.
catering, a lot of golf tournaments, and a lot of everything that had to do with golf. So we say,
Mhm.
you know what, why not TNT? They kind of say, yeah, Todd, Tasha, TNT. Okay, so that's kind of how we came up with it. So people thought it was like the dynamite TNT, and it's not. It's TEA because we did so many T's, church teas, school
Uh-huh.
teas, and then T's for the T is in golf, the golf.
Oh.
So that's kind of how we people was like, oh, that's different. Okay.
Mhm.
So it was starting to catch on to people. People before they still, put us in with the dynamite, which we are dynamite, I will say
Yeah.
no. But it was a different name to it. So that's what allowed it to stand out.
I like that. That's what made me ask. I like that. So that's and I know how you roll on that business. I've seen your work. I've seen your work more than once. It's awesome, phenomenal. You want to hire her. Definitely want to hire her. So I want to get into the leadership. I wrote down we are leadership academy. Tell me
Mhm.
how that came about because that is, I mean, so needed, so needed.
So We Are Heard Leadership Academy came about because I, having to have played several roles with children. My children are grown. I have grandchildren now, but when my children were growing up, I was a den mother. I was
Mhm.
the coach, a cheerleader coach. I was the soccer mom, and so I began to the girls that were a part of that a part of my children's friends that were female would always just gravitate to me, and I would
Mhm.
see myself in them, and just see how I kind of struggled when I was growing up, and wanting to have that mentor, or, or someone extra, because you always go to your parents. Let's just face it,
Mhm.
parents. I love you, parents. I'm a parent. I'm a grandparent, but they don't always come to us, and so
Mhm.
the girls would just gravitate to me, and I would hear so much going on in everybody's house, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, that don't tell me that, wait a minute, what's going on?
Mhm.
And so I began to see myself in them, and they would just, when they got around me, they did not want to leave. We would have slumber parties and
Mhm.
things of that nature. And I just said, okay, what is it? What are you trying to tell me, Lord? What is it? What's going
Mhm.
on?
Yeah.
And so I kept people, and even not even just the little children, but some of the coaches or some of the
Yeah.
parents of the girls would come and say, well, how do you get her to do this? Well,
Yeah.
because I could tell her this and she won't listen to me. And so I would find myself talking to the parents, and just had like a little group all of a sudden. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, wait a minute. And so I got it because we are her. I was once this young lady. This
Yeah.
I was once this 8 year
Mhm.
old. I was
Mhm.
once the 16-year old. I
Yep.
was once the 27-year old. So
Yep.
kind of comes full circle because we once were her and she's trying to be the her that we are right now. And so it
Yes.
just became we are her. And I've always found myself in leadership roles because I am a leader and not a follower. So I
Mm-hmm.
like to stand out and do things a little bit different, kind of go
Mm-hmm.
against the grain.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we in that mindset, oh, it has to be like this. No, it doesn't have to be like that. You can still, like my grandmother used to say, there is more than one way to skin a cat.
Yep.
And so I grew up with that, understanding that. And, just because you went around it and did it this way, I could still make it to this destination and still have done it my way. Now, I
Exactly.
may have some bumps and bruises, along the way, but that's still part of my journey.
Yep.
And so Leadership Academy came where I wanted to let the girls feel free and feel like they can, come and talk and have that
Mm-hmm.
space and have
Mm-hmm.
the opportunity to say, what they really feel. Because a lot of times as we were growing up in our era, what happens in the house, you don't say nothing about it. I don't want to hear about it. You don't tell
Yep.
nobody my business. And so we
Yes.
begin to suppress that. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, no, we need to start getting into those because those lead to other problems later on.
Exactly.
So that's
Exactly.
how that came about.
That is awesome, girl. Because you said something right there. That is so true. That's how we were raised. The
Mm-hmm.
Our business is our business, and nobody. I mean, I was the same way. My parents in the same household. But the thing
Yeah.
is, like you said, and I tell even today, my clients or just people when I'm talking to them in general, I tell them. I mean, you have to, I mean, honesty, communication is key. That's the first thing when I do a contract or even just build a relationship with anybody. I said the best way you can ruin a relationship with me is not communicating with me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
communication is key, and you have to have that same relationship with the young adults. And I get a
Absolutely.
lot of young adults that come up to me too. I used to mentor at our church, OCBF, young adults, young ladies like 18-year-olds to 25, and
Mm-hmm.
but that because they're finding their way. They're trying to find their way, and even
Yeah.
younger. When I was in corporate America, we were always partnering with a middle school or a high school. So I signed up for that to try to, because I, like you said, I was that person. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't have what you're offering. We didn't have that.
That's right.
We
That's
did not
right.
have that. So you had to either suppress it or find
Mm-hmm.
someone that will listen.
Right.
That will listen. And if you didn't, we're just not going through counseling for it. you
Right.
know for
Right.
real. We're
Right.
dealing with it right now because we didn't
Mm-hmm.
have that. And
We
that's
didn't
what
have
we
that
don't want.
outlet. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So you are on something right there. My question is, so you have We Are Leadership Academy, and what program did you start with first with that one? Because you have looks like you have a 4-tier program.
So the first program we started was what we call just basic moral and ethics
Mm-hmm.
etiquette
Mm-hmm.
because I mean it just was like what happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
It
so
happened.
we started in on that first of all, just the yes ma'am, the no ma'am, not
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
just the basic that you would have thought
Yep.
that would be grounded and rooted by now, and it is not. I know I could feel somebody busting me in the back of my head if I said yeah to my parent or to
Oh
my
yeah.
or calling my parent by her first name. Oh no, we don't do that. No, no
Nah.
ma'am.
Mm-mm.
No, not until. And I'm 50 some, and look, I still don't say Linda.
Yeah.
A Jazzy baby,
Yeah.
but not Linda.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
So
and if you do, she know you
it's
joking.
coming.
Yeah,
Yeah, right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right. And
yeah.
so that was the first thing that we started with because
Mm-hmm.
we knew that that was just something that the teachers were having problems with.
Mm.
The parents, just and it's like the students are raising themselves
Ex-
now. It's
you
a
said the word.
different era, yes, but at least back when we were coming up there was just certain things that we
Mm-hmm.
said or we did not say, Or if we saw, if we was in line and one of our friends was cussing, you'd be like, say, man, you see that lady right there? Right
Mm-hmm.
now, today, it's just like they say whatever, and it's just gonna, and you just feel like, okay, you don't see all these little kids here. And so we started trying to cover those, the basic etiquette and morals, because that is one of the main topics that is needed, because it's the disrespect in the kid and the disrespect of the teachers in the school.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the teachers, they want to say something because that's not the way they was raised either. And so we find ourselves trying to assist in that area, so they know that's not the way that you approach a teacher. Well, he says, I don't care what that adult did. Now, I understand that there are both sides, but there's a way to handle every situation. And so that's the concept that we kind of went to. It's called leading the
Oh,
way.
that's
And
awesome.
so it's just one of the things that we start off out the gate.
That's awesome. So okay, so this is great because what's the youngest you take them in?
10.
Okay, so I'm 10. Take me through your whole program until all the way to the very end. So I come to you at 10. Where
Mhm.
I start? Where do I start?
Okay, so if you're at 10, you're going to start with leading the way, because we're going
Okay.
to start again with the basic etiquette of saying thank you, or saying excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
or just the basic etiquette portion of it. The second step is my body is a temple, learning how to know your word, how and what your body, the different changes that you're going to go through, because someone else is heavier, bustier up top. Now I feel like I just was robbed of my blessing because I'm not that endowed, or, it's not, I don't look like the next person.
Right.
And so we try to talk about our body and what our feelings are about our body. And
Mm.
if you're upset about something, we talk and walk you through it. We're talking about puberty. We're talking about starting your menstrual cycle.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about keeping yourself clean, doing,
Yes.
wearing deodorant.
Yes.
How long does a sanitary napkin supposed to be on? And
Oh,
what I found with that, I wear mine all day. Oh,
no.
yeah. And
Wow.
so when it's not being taught, you find where that young lady has worn her sanitary napkin all day, and now she has a stain, and now that it breeds bullying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one thing kind of leads into another. So now I'm being
Right.
bullied because, of something that happened that I didn't know that I was supposed to change, or just those intimate things that they, need to understand.
Yeah.
So then
Exactly.
once you go through, my body is a temple, then we're going to talk
Mm-hmm.
about the peer pressure. What ticks you off? What are
Mm.
your pressure points?
That's good.
What is it that you just cannot stand that somebody does? We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about how to channel the anger, how to channel your thoughts, and learning not to say everything.
Mm,
I may
that's good.
think it, but I don't necessarily have to say anything about it.
Right. Right.
Be learning how to pretty much bridle your tongue, learning how to pick your battles, learning what it means to be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning sometimes you have to lead with grace by being quiet. Silence sometimes is golden. Now, you can't
Yes.
be silent on a lot of things a lot of times, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes silence is golden, because sometimes when you don't say something, it's just like, well, I'm not going to take the time to sit here and argue with you back and forth. So I'm just going to be quiet. And a
Right.
lot of us can't do that. And, sometimes I have to, I be wanting to say something, but just, you know.
Yeah.
And so then that last portion, which is the fourth one, is talking about entrepreneurship, the STEM program, and what
Mm.
starting out your path. Who's in your crew? Who's
Mm.
in your clique? What are your friend choices that you're making?
Right.
Are they wanting to be successful? Do they have the same goals and vision as you do?
Mm-hmm.
Learning
That's
how to
good.
pick your circle, learning how to network. So when you get ready to go into someone, thank you. holding your head up, holding
Yes.
your shoulders back, but learning how to look at one another eye to eye. So when I'm talking to you, you're not looking down here, you're not looking over
Mm-hmm.
there. If I'm speaking to you, shaking their hands, just learning
Mm-hmm.
how to and navigate through life.
That's
Um,
awesome.
just kind of going into what the depths are of thinking. If I'm in this situation, what do I do?
Right.
How do I, just working out those scenarios and then just making sure that they're ready for college. So that is kind of our 4-step program.
That is so awesome. Okay. Okay. I love that. That's awesome. Another thing you're doing that I love that I experience is dealing with domestic violence. Women.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That
So
is key.
oh yeah, I am a huge advocate for domestic violence. I was in 2 abusive marriages prior,
Mm-hmm.
and I literally almost lost my life. It had some things, it involved my children. I
Mm-hmm.
almost lost my children. So I mean, it just is very near and dear to me, and I take it to heart when I talk about it because it's something that I have experienced, not only just the mental portion of it, but the
Mm-hmm.
physical portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what some ladies don't understand, there is a financial abuse. There is
Yes.
financial abuse, and a lot of ladies don't understand. Oh, he just want to keep the money because he know I'll spend it. Mhm. Okay, if you make the money, then that's what you need to do. Hold your own money and make sure, because what happens is that now you have a bank, he has a bank account, you're not on it, he walk away, you walk away with nothing. And so they don't understand it because there a lot of them are young, and I was young when I first got married, and I didn't understand what it was about. I did
Mm-hmm.
not understand, and I had an older ex-husband, and he took me through the ringer. And then a lot of the ladies, they have children, so it makes it harder to leave because they
Mm-hmm.
start using the kids as weapon, or they'll take
Exactly.
2 kids and leave one because they know the mother's not going to, that they play those type of games like
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
then when it started getting physical, I'm making excuses to why, and then I would leave and I come back. Well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to make it work because I got a divorce the first time. I don't want to do it the second. And back in the day, baby, divorce was, oh my God, you better not
Mm-hmm.
get divorced.
Exactly, girl. You
You
was
better not.
outcast. You was outcast every day. I've been there, done that.
Yes.
I can relate.
Yes, and so I was embarrassed and I just didn't know what to do. But one night I almost literally lost my life, and I walked into, after I made a decision, I said, okay, and I walked into this office, and I looked on the wall, and all I saw was these beautiful flowers. I was like, oh my God, those are some beautiful flowers. And not reading what it said.
Yeah.
And so I just was looking at this beautiful, I say it was like 60 roses, just beautiful roses.
Mm-hmm.
And I stepped back and I began to read what it said. It said he beat her over 100 times and she got flowers once. And that one time she got the flowers, as I stepped back, it was on a casket. I was like, no, that is not gonna be me.
Mm.
That right there was a ringer for me. And I just thought about that. And I'm looking how beautiful these roses were and never even looked at the casket.
Wow.
And so that right there said something and did something for me. And I made a decision at that particular point. I don't want to leave my babies.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Yeah.
be here and I
Yep.
have to survive. And so that portion is what I we help young ladies understand what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Come out of denial. And
Mm.
please understand that we can only do so much, because until they make that decision,
That's
and
key.
until they get it in their minds and in their heads that this is what's going on and what's happening, we can talk until we're green and blue in the face. We can take you and get you to the correct, locations and hide you. But if you
Mm-hmm.
decide to go back, you know,
Yeah.
and so we kind of walk them through what to expect. When you do leave, the isolation, because you're going to want to go back, because oh, now the feelings of you, of whatever has happened throughout that point in time,
Right.
you're going to reflect back on that. But you have to be strong enough to know, look, especially if you have children, if you don't,
Mm-hmm.
think about your family, think about them burying you. You have the drastic part first, and
Yeah.
then channel back.
And that is so key because like I said, I was that wife, abusive wife, and like you said, mental, um financial, physical, mental, and mental is words. I mean, that is like
Mhm.
that. I mean, that's almost as it is dangerous as a physical because that's words never leave you.
They never
It
leave.
never
That's
leaves
right.
you, and so
Mhm.
you have to have you got to have a village. And I think
Yes.
for me, what helped me is because I had a huge family support when
Right.
they found
Right.
out, because like you said, when you're going through, you're embarrassed, you don't want to tell no one because you
That's
blame
right.
yourself,
Right.
it's like I did this to myself, so you're embarrassed, you don't want to tell
Mhm.
nobody. But when you do tell someone, you're still embarrassed, but you got to have a strong family support to pull you out of that.
That is correct.
If
That's
you're
right.
not sick and tired of it, you got to have a
Mhm.
strong family support to pull you out. So
That's right.
that is, I used to be, I used to help out at Hope House in Plano.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but, but one thing um, is I love it. And it's very important because I mean, so many people go through it still today. And the thing is people don't want to believe that people still go through that. You know what I mean? Ain't
Yeah.
gonna say they don't want to believe it. It's not. They don't. They think because we're in a different time. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Women still put up with that. You know what I mean? Women still put. Yeah, women. You still have some women that still put up with that. And then two is not your average person that you think is doing it.
That's right.
it's your CEOs and your
Mhm.
it's those type of people that you the least ones you least expecting it
Yes. Yes.
expecting I'm sorry least expecting doing it. And that's why I
Mhm.
tell people, I'm like, it's not the average working person you
That's
know
right. That's right.
so they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, you'd be surprised who's.
Be surprised. So
I think you're frozen. Can you hear me now?
I can
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why I tell people you'll be surprised. But that is so, I love that. I may have to get involved in that one with you guys. Um
Okay.
I that is dear to me too. I It took me a minute to share that. You know what I mean? Because like
Mhm.
you said, and
Mhm.
it's not in for embarrassment, because I'm not embarrassed about it, because I know my story touch lives, but it's about the right audience. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because your story isn't for everybody.
That's right.
It's the right audience, and when the Holy
Mhm.
Spirit moves me to share it, you know what I mean? So people
Right.
was like, you need to tell that. I said, I do when I'm moved to tell it. I don't.
Mhm.
Everybody that walk past me doesn't need to know that, because it's not for
Mhm.
everybody.
It's not
So
for everybody.
exactly. So, because people like, are you ashamed? No, I'm not. I mean, there was a point in my life, but I'm not
Mhm.
there anymore. I'm not at that point. But
Yeah.
it is for when it's time. So I love that. I love that. The other thing, I got a question for you.
Mhm.
What is your vision for your business now? Are all these, like your TNT and your academy, is it all under the same umbrella, or you keep them separate?
I keep them separate, but it's under, I would say, the Cummings Enterprises.
Okay.
So knowing that we do have a for-profit and then nonprofit,
Okay.
um, I guess for business sake, you would keep them separate. But if they want to know um, who Latasha is, then it would come up under that. Would be um, We Are Her,
Mhm.
TNT, and ENO.
Okay. ENO. ENO. What was ENO for?
E&O is Entrepreneurs Night Out. That's something that I developed for the newbies in the business as well as the veterans in the business, because I know when I first started the business back in 92, nobody wanted to share anything with me. Because I guess they thought that I was going to get their clients, going to take some money out their pockets. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just, ugh. I was just like, you know what, forget it. Lord, if you ever help me to get where I need to be with this thing, I will share what I have. And
Mm-hmm.
so we developed this platform for that we did, every 3 months
Mm-hmm.
uh, at the Fairfield in Cedar Hill. And that's just for those ladies and men who, just even thinking about stepping away from the corporate world. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
decision, it's scary. And just to let them know, because you see so many people, oh, you can make $1,000 a day doing the XYZ, and it's so much out there, for people to say, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you can do this. Yeah, but let me know what happened in the interim. Let me
Mm-hmm.
know, my lights was cut out. Let me know,
Yeah.
that the I got a bad review. Let me know the truth.
Yeah.
So people
Yeah.
to say, oh, I got a business card, I've been busy, but you don't want to tell, it's not
Yeah.
always cookies and cream. It's not
Mm-hmm.
always sunshine and Philly and sunny in Philadelphia, or however they say that.
No,
It's
ma'am.
not always that. And so this platform is just basically to, for us to kind of come together
Mm-hmm.
and see what you need, because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. If I know somebody who does business, I can recommend them. Hey, you need a business card. We always ask, what can we do for you? We
Right.
don't come with our hands out. We comes with our hands, like I tell them, don't come with your hands out and open. Come with your hands closed and ready to drop, which
Yeah.
means I'm giving you something. I'm
Yeah.
not asking you this
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And so that's what, Entrepreneurs Night Out is about, for us to allow you to showcase your business, showcase your gifts and talents that God bless you with. And hey, somebody may need your services in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we also start with our youth, because we have a lot of young entrepreneurs. So we pay for their business cards. We pay for the
Oh,
photo shoot. We pay for her to do her promo. Just we
yeah.
just randomly pick people that we're gonna just be a blessing to. Because when I started again back in '92, that was not an option, and nobody
Mm-mm.
wanted to tell me anything. So what
Mm-hmm.
I know, I am willing to share.
That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. There is some I'm while you were talking, there's people I'm thinking of. So I'm probably gonna be connecting you with some more people because
Okay.
I'm connecting with people and I'm growing my connections. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you were saying, I was like, oh my gosh, this would be good for so and so. This would be good. Yeah. So I'll
Yeah.
probably be connecting you with some more
Well, send them
people.
on. Send them on.
You know I will. So okay, do you feel like you're working in your purpose?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because you do things when you are in your purpose from your heart, and you do it for free. You do it for
Mm-hmm.
free. And people say, "Oh, well, girl, no, I got to get paid." I understand that. I understand that. But when your purpose is from God,
Mm-hmm.
He's orchestrating your steps. He's orchestrating it. Some of the people I didn't even think I would meet. Who? What?
Mm-hmm.
He orchestrated that. He
Mm-hmm.
he he lined. He has already lined up the people that
Exactly.
you already need, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't know it. You just, it's like a maze, and you
Mm-hmm.
like a little rat going through that maze, and he'll put a wall up there. Oh, I can't go there. Okay, well, I need to go around, because he's
Right.
redirecting you to something else. And
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely know that I'm walking in my purpose, because everything is lining up. I was
Mm-hmm.
kicking against the prick, absolutely, and I was just like, no, I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you walking in your purpose, you know it, because of the people that God put in your path, the people that have already, your name has already crossed their desk, or crossed their
Mm-hmm.
minds, or crossed or oh, I've already talked to her for so and so. Oh, you just need to go. It's already predestined and pre-designed.
Right.
And walk in your purpose. Every time you open up your mouth, he will give you words to say. It's
Right.
not us saying our words, it's the words that he's given us to say. Because sometimes I would get up and I'd be like, Lord, what is it? I don't even know what I'm about to say. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what am I gonna say
I know.
right now, Lord Jesus, help me. Because right now
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But he will give you, he will put the words in your mouth. And it's
Mhm.
it's it's about timing. It's about timing. He
I.
already knew back way back in the day when I first started People's Party Package that was just something that I wanted to do. Now
Mm-hmm.
you do what I want you to do, which is we are her.
Yes, girl. Amen to that. Okay, my last question for you is, I want to make sure because I've been writing as you talk, girl. See, this what I've been writing as you talk. Um,
Okay.
what's your vision? So you've been in business since 1992.
Mm-hmm.
What is your vision? Because is a vision is a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it changed as we evolve. Your vision evolved. So what's your
Okay.
vision?
So my vision is to leave TNT possibly to my children. I want to leave a legacy. The We Are Her is definitely for my grandgirls. I have three grandgirls and one grand boy.
Oh my
But
gosh.
all those girls, and my girls are part of We Are Her. They had their little shirts and everything. But I'm wanting to leave a legacy for them. So when I'm gone, they would say, "Oh, your mom, you're Mimi or you're Gigi. Oh, she was We Are Her." That's something that I want to leave for them as well as my children. Now, my children can take over TNT, and with them working in the business since they was like 12, they just like, "Mom, no, I'm done with that. We don't want to stir no more potatoes. We don't want to fold no more linen. No, no, we
Uh-huh.
don't want to do it." But I do see We Are Her. I see chapters like
Mm,
the Dallas chapter, the
mm-hmm.
New York chapter,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, DC chapter. I see
Mm-hmm.
chapters. So
Mm-hmm.
it can live on and on and on. And they come in and I just see it. I just see those chapters. And I that's so crazy you asked me that question because someone asked me about where do I see We Are Her going. And I'm just like, I see chapters. I see
Mm-hmm.
it. I don't know how many gonna be in the chapters, but
Yeah.
you can have a Garland chapter, a
Mm-hmm.
Richardson chapter. I see it, because it's something to where we don't hardly see us
Mm-hmm.
leaving anything.
Yep.
And so this is what I want to leave. I want to be able to say, well, I want my children and my grandchildren to be able to say, my mother or my grandmother, my Mimi or Gigi left us something, and
Right.
something positive, not bills
Right. Mm-hmm.
and debt,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Exactly. That is awesome. Okay, so I see the chapters too. I see the vision. I see you in different states. I have like I said, I have connections and I'm meeting new people all the time. But so
Mhm.
when someone come to mind that I see a fit, I would definitely connect you. I do have a person I'm thinking about. I need to talk with her first. Um
Okay.
she's a um she's the life coach, but she coach divorced women
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
been through divorce and stuff like that. um
Okay.
but yeah, because on especially on the women going through domestic violence, because that's where she
Mhm.
specializes in because of her history and stuff like that. But yeah,
Right.
absolutely, this has been great. I got to learn something more about you. I mean, I know what I know about you, and then we're from the same hometown, from GI.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
We homies, we
That's
homegirls.
right. There you go. There you go.
Yes. So I appreciate you taking the time of doing this and sharing your business, your entrepreneurship, and your vision and all the platforms you have, which is amazing because
Mhm.
they are so needed. They are so needed. And as you grow, you're touching lives, you're impacting lives, you're bringing up
Mhm.
young entrepreneurs. Um,
Yes.
one of my friends, she's a, I'm a I'm gonna tag you. She's a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be interviewing her this next month.
Okay.
She posted this morning on Facebook about this child. She was because she's a pediatrician. This
Mm-hmm.
child, she was his doctor when he was, I want to say he was 12 when I read the where she put out there. I read his text. She put his text out there. And
Mm-hmm.
he when he was 12, and he spent, he's 19, he may be 20 or something like that. But anyway, he
Mm-hmm.
been looking for her because she impacted his life. She was such a good doctor that he had been looking for her,
Mm-hmm.
and when he found her just yesterday, he sent her a message saying, "Oh my gosh," and they had a really good conversation. But I say that to say that the impact you have now on 10-year-olds will
Mm-hmm.
come back 10 years or 15 years later. And that's why I tell people, you have to be, no matter where you are or how you feel about certain things or people, you still have to treat them kind, because you never know when, how you gonna cross
That's
that
right.
bridge again. They may,
Mm.
that person you may, just because you don't like them, may, their kid may be the one hire your granddaughter.
That's
you,
right.
you know
You
what
are
I
so
mean? So you
yes.
have to be like, and even if they don't, you don't care for them, they at least they can say, you know what, I know your grandmother, me and her never met
Mm-hmm.
eye to eye, but you know what, she's an honest and fair person. You know what I mean? You just don't
That's
know
right.
how the world is big, but it's really small.
It is right.
So
You're right.
you
You're right.
you are impacting lives. That God is gonna reward you, which God is so faithful that He don't have to
Yes,
do anything else for us. But the
that's right.
thing is, it's gonna come down through your kids and your grandkids and your great grandkids and your great. You know what I mean? It's just gonna.
Mm-hmm. You got to sow those seeds now.
Hmm. So you are doing just that, my sister, and I appreciate you and the efforts and everything you're doing. And I am going to be, I always keep my eyes on you, so I'm gonna do what I can to help. I mean, however,
Yes.
just reach out to me. I mean, I may be all over the place, but when I commit to something, I commit to something. So I'm gonna do what I can to help. I really appreciate it.
Okay, and if you have or know any young ladies or women who have lost children, please send them my way, because we do talk with them and we just love on them, and we kind of just show have a support system for them as well. Doesn't matter how they lost, but
Does it matter how
that
old, the age or anything?
does not matter the age. Does not matter the age. I know my when my son was killed, I shut down and I didn't want to talk to anyone. But I wish I had, at some
Yeah.
point in time. But now dealing, with the aftermath of everything, we embrace those young ladies and let them know that you need to talk to someone.
Right.
You need to talk to the right people, not those that because you really can't relate to them if you have not lost a child. You don't know what that feels like at all.
Mm-mm.
And so a lot of times, we say, oh wow, oh my goodness, I understand. No, you don't. And I stopped saying that for things
Mm-hmm.
that I did not understand until I experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
Woo,
Yeah.
that was a different book for me, a different chapter.
Wow.
And so now we just embrace those young ladies and those mothers and help them get through it.
So let me ask you this, or is that local or are you doing it virtual? Because what if there's somebody else, I say I know somebody, or and they're not here. Are you embracing them virtual
We have
too?
both in person. Well, we were doing in person before COVID,
Mhm.
but now it's all virtual.
Okay, okay. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
would definitely, because I mean I hear things and I always try to keep my ear glued to who do I know? Who do I know? Who I know can help this person? Who do I know? So I would definitely, I wrote down your programs and I'm gonna put them where I can keep them. But girl, I'll be reaching out to you. I'll be like, girl, do you, you
And
know
I
how?
send you that way you have, because we have a write up with every with the arms of our different programs. So I'll send that to you, that way you can have it.
Yes, I need that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Okay.
So let me stop, and then I do. Where's my thing at? Oh, here it is. Right, girl.